Okay, so either Grow a Garden just became the biggest Roblox game of all time by complete accident, or there is something very suspicious going on here, and I think the main question that people keep asking about that game is Grow a Garden botted? Now, we all know that Roblox already has a very terrible bot problem across the entire platform in so many different games, so even if Grow a Garden was botted, it would not be their fault, because it's kind of like having an infestation in your house and then just never calling an exterminator. So basically, if Roblox never does anything about this bot problem, it's always going to be a big problem. The developers of these games themselves cannot do anything about it. The only people who can do something about it will be Roblox. But this game, Grow a Garden, is literally just planting vegetables, picking the vegetables, selling the vegetables, buying more vegetables, and it's just basically a big cycle of that. Even the base plate is one of the most basic things that you have ever seen, but it already hit 1 billion visits in just 1 month of existing, and also the other day had 5 million concurrent players. And somehow, something so simple, something so basic, beat every single other game on the entire platform, including anything that you can ever think of, because this is now the #1 game on Roblox. And yet, outside of the game itself, nobody is talking about it. I recently saw a video from Creekcraft, and I'll tell you more about what he said later, but he basically did say that there are barely any YouTube videos about it, and then even when people do make YouTube videos about Grow a Garden, the views are just really not there. Nobody is watching content on YouTube about this game specifically, which is really rare for a game of this size. Usually when a game has that many players, the amount of views that it gets on YouTube are insane. It has its own entire community, but Grow a Garden simply does not have that. So of course this has led to the entire Roblox community asking, is Grow a Garden being botted? Are the players real? Are the servers of this game filled with nothing but bots? And to be honest with you, my own answer, and I think the answer if you actually look into this, would be no. I know that is so surprising, but here is the thing, and this is what makes all of this even weirder. This wouldn't even be some crazy new theory that everyone is talking about, because like I said, this has always been a problem on Roblox. The bot problem is absolutely ridiculous. It is one of the biggest problems on the entire platform. People talk about it on Twitter literally every single day. Whatever game they are trying to play, if they encounter a server full of bots, they will be on Twitter talking about it. YouTubers have made videos about it for years. I've made videos about it. I even recently talked about the bot infestation inside of Bubblegum Simulator, because that has to be the worst one that I have ever encountered. Like, I'm telling you right now, go to Bubblegum Simulator Infinity on Roblox, go to the server list. You've basically entered the world's biggest Roblox bot farm. It's just server after server full of accounts that are so clearly bots, and all of them will be sitting inside of those games AFK, basically just grinding with exploits, I guess. Murder Mystery 2 is another game that I've seen people complaining about the bots inside of, and it will be literally any game like that on Roblox, where the main gameplay would be grinding something to then get something rare and then being able to trade it or sell it. The people behind these bots will have entire setups basically running 24/7 using exploits to automatically farm the coins, to then later get or unlock the rare pets or items, so then they can also resell them on something like eBay or in Discord servers, wherever they want to sell them. And of course, they don't even try to hide it. They don't have any reason to hide it, because again, it's like having a bug infestation, but they're never calling the exterminators. Roblox would be the exterminators, but they just don't want to be called. You scroll through a public server and it's just bots. I can scroll and scroll and scroll and it will be full servers of nothing but bots. But then when we look at Grow a Garden, which by the way is literally still the #1 game on Roblox right now, I've actually never seen it have below 1 million players. And it's like, scrolling through the servers of that game, none of the bot problem exists. You scroll through the server list and it's all just normal players. You might find 1 or 2 bots hanging around, or maybe they would be alt accounts of people trying to get extra stuff in the game, because let's be honest, every Roblox game has a few bots here and there, but it's absolutely nothing compared to the war zone of the bots inside of Bubblegum Simulator. And that is what's so confusing about this whole situation, because Grow a Garden just doesn't have the clear signs of being botted. There's no AFK bot farms, there's no servers filled with bots, there's no obvious bot behaviour, and yet somehow this game's sitting there reaching ridiculous numbers like 5 million concurrent players and also getting to 1 billion visits in just 30 days. Bubblegum Simulator is a straight up bot apocalypse. That's why I made an entire video about that on its own a few weeks ago. It's so bad today that some of these full servers literally say 17 of 12 people max, 16 of 12 people max. These servers that are only supposed to hold 12 people have so many bots in them that they have managed to bypass the server limit. And in a server that has a limit of 12 players, it has 17, and all 17 of them will be bots. And like I said, being in those servers is just not recommended. It's almost like an apocalypse. It's really like an abandoned wasteland, because there is no real players, no human, no one's talking, no chats. Not really any gameplay, there is just silence and AFK grinding. It's so depressing in those servers. Now this brings us back to Grow a Garden, because weirdly enough, when you scroll through the server list for that game, it's shockingly normal. Like, yeah, you'll probably stumble across 1 or 2 servers that look kind of suspicious, but when a game is, you know, constantly reaching 1 million players 24/7, a few weird servers really doesn't mean anything. It's nothing significant. It's not even close to the levels of the other games that I just showed you. It's completely normal. All of these are real players. So now that we know what a botted game on Roblox actually looks like, that tells us that Grow a Garden probably is not one of them, and that makes it so much more confusing. Even if it was botted, to say that most of the 5 million players they had the other day would be bots is absolutely ridiculous. That would not be reasonable whatsoever. That would not be the case. But now, if Grow a Garden isn't full of bots and people aren't really watching YouTube videos about it, no one's really talking about it, the game itself, let's be honest, is about as thrilling as watching paint dry. That does now beg the question, how on earth did it hit 5 million concurrent players? If you've seen Creekcraft's video about this, which you probably have, he talks about this in a lot more depth. He basically also points out that YouTube videos about Grow a Garden just don't have the views, nobody's watching that. Nobody's really searching for it, and especially in comparison to some of the other games, it's not trending, it's not blowing up in the usual ways that we've seen with other games that trend like this on Roblox. He did say, however, what seems to be blowing up in place of that are YouTube shorts and also TikToks. So now these clips on TikTok and the YouTube shorts being absolutely everywhere, getting millions of views, that is probably perfectly targeted at Gen Alpha. These kids who are basically being raised on iPads and viral content like Grow a Garden, now suddenly all of this starts to make sense. This is why most of us will log into the game, play it for about an hour maximum, and then immediately wonder how this became the biggest game on Roblox, how this game had 5 million players. So yes, this does explain why the player count is so high, because when that generation latches onto something, they really latch on. They clearly play it for hours, they play it for weeks, months. They're gonna tell their friends, they're probably talking about it at school, they're gonna do anything and everything to play Grow a Garden, all 5 million of them. So after everything that we've looked at in this video, going back to the question that started all of this, is Grow a Garden being botted? Honestly, probably not. I know that is truly the most surprising, most shocking answer to that question, but no, I truly don't think that Grow a Garden is being botted. There is just no evidence that it has any bots in it. So whilst the successive grower garden may be very confusing to most of us, it's not necessarily suspicious. There is no bots or anything. It's kind of just a reminder that Roblox is a very different platform now, and I guess that's okay. It's something that we have to live with. So please, the comments is the place to go. Tell me what you guys think about bots on Roblox ruining some of the biggest games, but grower gardens surprisingly not being one of them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.